information on the new game coming to us from Access Games. If you don't remember, last year we did a full comprehensive preview of the game leading up to its release for Access Football 2020. And if you did miss that, you can click the playlist link in the upper right hand corner and watch those videos before you watch this, so you can kind of get an idea of what Access Football is all about if you are new to the franchise. However, maybe you are not new to the franchise and you're ready for more. What's going to be new this year? Well, if you are a Patreon subscriber for Access Football, you do get a little bit of that insider information, and you get a lot more ahead of time than everyone else publicly on, say, Twitter or Discord. And you can click that Patreon link in the description and you can get signed up today with Access Football. You can support the team and you get some of that information right up front. You get to be in the know before everyone else, and you'll also be able to become a closed beta tester as well. I don't get any kickback. It's just another way I want to help out a developer trying to bring the best they can to a football video game. But let's talk about what they have in store for us for 2021, because they did add a couple updates to their Twitter page to give everyone a taste of what is to come in 2021. Now, as we've talked about prior, I love immersion when it comes to simulated sports titles. And if you're here watching a video on Access Football, chances are you really do too. And Access has done a good job building this over the last couple of years when it comes to just putting yourself into a whole new world and just letting you go wild with it when it comes to stat tracking, when it comes to creating your own just world, if you will. Now, some of that you probably had to take liberties with yourself, and you couldn't really do much within the confines of the game unless you're on the PC version and you're modding the game. With this, sure, you can still mod it, but this is finally giving access to console players, for instance, the ability to create teams and truly make this world your own. Coming this season, you'll be able to create your own team, which is a huge boost, I think, to the customization suite within Access Football. Now, you'll also be able to use a team logo editor, which will include hundreds of logos. It's kind of taking a page out of the Maximum book. However, with Maximum Football, you could not touch the colors. It was all set. They're PNG files, I do believe. Maybe there's a specific file that's a video game related one, but that's essentially what they were. You couldn't change anything about the colors itself. With Access, you'll be able to edit those, and you'll be able to pretty much pick any color that you can possibly create on the color palettes. Now, that's your typical XYZ, the 3 lines of colors that you can kind of mess with, the red, green, and blue, and create your own colors, and just whatever your mind can think of, that's what you can create your logo with. Now, it appears you won't be able to create your own specific logo, like say on console, but you'll be able to find one of these logos, I'm sure one that will kind of suit your needs, and you'll be able to edit the colors, which is a huge boost, I think. Additionally, if you're creating your own team, you need to be able to edit the team name and city. Of course, you'll be able to do that. You'll also be able to change your field style and end zone design. So I'm very intrigued to see what that will entail for sure. Additionally, you'll be able to change your playbooks, which obviously makes sense. So if you're a West Coast offense, 3-4 defense, set that up at your own beck and call. And there's going to be a redesigned uniform editor. And this was a feature that I thought was quite lacking considering what you could do. Hopefully you'll be able to really just kind of let your imagination run wild with this. So if you can think of it, it's going to let you do it. If there's one aspect of Access Football that people typically point at and say, I'm not sure about this game, it's probably the gameplay. You gotta consider the small team that works on Access Football compared to, say, a AAA developer like EA Sports. There's a lot more money being poured into the EA Sports games compared to something like Access Football. So it's the job relies on just the shoulders of a couple guys, but they are constantly improving this game every single year. You can truly see it year on year what they are doing to this game every single season. So this year they're going to be adding a little bit more to the touchdown and play celebrations. This is to add to the immersion, make everyone not so wooden and robotic, have some emotions. It's an emotional game. If you ever played football, it is one of the most emotional games you will ever play. Every single tackle you make is exciting. Every single score you make is exciting. People emote when it comes to playing the game of football. So adding celebrations, that's an awesome aspect of it. Dozens of new animations and smoother gameplay. That's kind of, that might be just a cookie cutter thing to put in there, but it's going to be something we're going to have to actually physically play and get an idea of, okay, this is a lot smoother. This makes a lot more sense. It's much more immersive. Would love to see that. Next thing you see on screen here is field flipping. This may sound weird that you see this on this, but this is one of those things, if you noticed it, you can never not notice it in Access Football. You might have gone and not even realize that this never happened. So in football, every single quarter, you have to change the size of the field, kind of keep the wind advantage equalized between both teams. So if the wind's blowing hard one way, one team's not going to have that advantage the entire game. It's constantly rotating. In Access Football, it never flipped the field. Seems kind of like a basic thing, but when it comes to things you want to prioritize on your list of developer side of things, that's probably at the very low tier of things you want to focus on, because it's another aspect of the immersion. It's just keeping with the realism of the sport. It's just one of those things, if it's just too much pain when it comes to developing it, there's probably other areas we'd rather spend our time with. However, this season, they're going to be adding that aspect of it. So it's going to add on top of the realism, the immersion of football. Additionally, there's going to be a redesigned artificial intelligence. So play calling and clock management should be better when it comes to the CPU aspect of it. It's good to always see that. You want to make sure that when you're playing a computer, they're going to be taking timeouts when it makes sense. So if they're down by, say, 6 points and they're not calling timeouts with less than a minute to go, that's like, why are they doing this? That's something you don't want to see. You always want to win, sure, but you want to win in a realistic way, I would imagine. That's how I like winning. Next, new player logic. One thing you don't want to see is seeing a corner route and the quarterback's going to throw to the receiver before they make that cut towards the corner. Kind of defeats the purpose of a corner route. Once you make that cut, as long as the quarterback recognizes when they're going to make that cut, they can hit him in stride and hopefully score a touchdown en route. So having that new player logic is going to, again, add to the immersion, add to the realism. A lot of these things are going to continue to be introduced piecemeal to Access Football, and it's slowly all coming together. As the Emperor's New Groove, as you'd see it, it's all coming together. And that's Access Football. It's coming together every single year. It's becoming a much better game every year. And you're truly seeing the work that this team is putting behind it when it comes to all of the features they added to franchise last season, all of the gameplay improvements they added last season, including some animation improvements. I'll link another video here that they go over all the stuff they added. Like kickoffs was another thing they kind of talked about last season, and you just saw the huge difference between 19 and 20 and how it just made it so much smoother looking, made it so much better. It's maybe one of those things, if you just let it fly under the radar, you may not really realize it, but once you see it the way that they fixed it, it's night and day. It really is. And then lastly, here on this tweet, they mentioned that they're going to have the new overtime rule set from the NFL. So if a team kicks a field goal right away in overtime, the other team will get a chance to tie it up or score a touchdown. And you also have the coin toss in there as well. So a lot of new stuff coming to the franchise in 2021. Very excited to see what else is on its way. If you are interested in jumping into the closed beta, like I said, subscribe to their Patreon. You can get early access to the game itself by jumping into the beta, and you'll be able to help the team develop the game as we get toward this release, which is being slated for September release, it sounds like. So just a couple months away. So if you are an Access Football fan, what are you hoping to see that we did not touch in this? What are you excited to see that we did go over? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, if you haven't already, like this video, share with a friend who is just begging for a different football game that is not from EA Sports, because Access Football may be it. For sure, it will be on Steam, and I can tell you right away, Xbox will not have a problem getting this game. Over the last couple of years, PlayStation has been kind of a pain in the ass for access when it comes to just getting the game into the store, whether maybe one little thing that just isn't Sony approved The PS4 version of Access Football 2020 was a little bit delayed. 2019 was canceled entirely, so hopefully we get to see day-and-date releases for all the consoles. They said they're working on a Switch version of the game, or at least attempting to, so that'd be really cool to see since we don't have any simulated football games on the Switch. So if this comes to the Switch, I'm going to lose it. That's exactly where I'm going to pick it up. I'll probably pick up the PC version as well, but if they get a Switch version of this, it's over. It's over. But thank you for watching. We'll have more Access content here in the near future. As soon as we'll see some of the embargoes go away, we'll be able to share some gameplay in the near future, hopefully too. So again, thanks for your support, and we will catch you down the road.